Oh, well, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Saturday. Hello, hello. Mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2. We're very, very early today, friends. I like to keep the spooks on their toes. So I scheduled this for 8:30 tonight, but we're here early. And I did that on purpose. So if any of you had the notification on and you thought this was going to be later tonight, no, I just like to keep my spooks on their toes. So now they're going to have to scramble and, oh, shit, we didn't plan for her to be live until later. So sorry, spooks. Kept you on your toes. We're here hours and hours early today. Hope everyone's having a great Saturday. Welcome on in, everyone. Last 24 on the mic. Hello. RJ, hello. Good to see you. Hope y'all are having a good Saturday. It's snowing like a mofo. Yeah, last night and today where I am. So, it is what it is. Uh, we're here early today. Pen Dizzy, hello. Welcome on in. Outdoorsy Life, hello. Batsheet, hello. Beach Babe, hello. How's everybody doing? Michelle F, hello. You're in British Columbia, Pen Dizzy? Wow. Meg, beautiful Meg P. Hi, honey. Welcome on in, darling. Inside your bones, hello. Hope everybody's having a good Saturday. Okay, so this is going to be a laid back live today. We have quite a few things to look at. So hopefully, wherever you are, you're chilling, you're comfy, you've got a drink, you've got a snack. We're going to talk about a topic today that I know for some people it's probably very triggering, but it's fine. Alligato, hello. Amethyst, hello. So, this is, as you can see from the title of the live, if this is a topic that triggers you, anything to do with human trafficking, child trafficking, hazing, if those kinds of things trigger you, I will not be offended if you click right on out and go find something else to watch, okay? I'd rather you do so. Don't hang around here if the things we're about to look at, read, and discuss are possibly going to trigger you. Um, you know, so I just wanted to get that disclaimer out of the way. We are going to look at a couple of things. We have a few things. I have a few tabs open here that we're going to look at today. Um, so, there is a document that I linked in the description of this live. We're going to go through, I think it's about, I don't know, 15 pages or so, 10 pages of the 49-page document that I want to look at and actually read and read through, those pages specifically. Um, so hopefully you guys are cool with that. Um, we got a lot to look at, but I did link the document in the description here. So if anybody wants the document, you want to go read it yourself, you know what I say, print it, laminate it, frame it, do whatever you want with it, okay? It is linked. Um, so, this is something that, this is a topic that I myself personally have been involved with for a very long time as far as combating human trafficking, recognizing the signs of human trafficking. Um, Whether you're a teacher, whether you're a doctor, a nurse, whatever, right? Doesn't matter who you are, social worker, whatever. There's a reason that we have all of these training classes for this. There's a reason why now, because it is such an epidemic. Many, many areas of jobs across the country are teaching, the signs of human trafficking and how to recognize it and, report it and things like that. So, a lot of that is what we're going to be talking about today. I know that a lot of people, maybe they don't want to talk about it or they don't want to look at it because it's like that thing, it's like that elephant in the room, right? Once you start talking about it, it just triggers people. But the fact of the matter is, you can't expose it and you can't combat it until you talk about it. So, um, if there's anybody who, thinks that this doesn't occur or it doesn't occur as much as people think, you'd be wrong. Just want to get that out of the way. You'd be incredibly wrong, actually. Um, and unfortunately, there seems to be a prevalence of it, sadly, amongst these college students. They're purposely targeted, especially the ones with low self-esteem or come from poorer backgrounds and don't have money. They're specifically targeted by these groups who look for them while they're young on purpose. Um, and I kind of look at it as almost like, to me, like the hazing and the trafficking on the college campuses, like they go hand in hand, right? And that's just my opinion. To me, it's just a different form. The hazing is just a different form, and it can lead to your son or your daughter being trafficked, especially depending on the kind of people they're around. Um, so, we have some things to read through, and I think you'll see what I mean as we start reading through them. Um, but yeah, I appreciate everyone being here. Welcome in. So like I said, it's your last chance. If you don't want to hear things like this, you should click out. Um, but September Virgo, hello, welcome on in. You are not too late. We just started. How's my audio? Actually, before we get too far into it, can you guys like hear me okay? I'm not breaking up too bad or anything, right? Let's hope. All right, where do I want to start? Me. Willie, what up, homie? Welcome on in. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. All right, where do I want to start with this? Penelope. Who's Penelope? Oh, it must be Pendizzy. Because I don't see a Penelope. So it must be Pendizzy. Okay. All right, so let's see. Where are we going to start here? Okay, so in the live we did yesterday when we covered the frat hazing video out of the University of Iowa. FOIA and find out. Well, hello. Good to see you. Welcome on in. Hope you're having a great Saturday. All right. So, I did share this yesterday when we were doing that live for the fraternity hazing situation there. So we're just going to take a look at this one more time because there's a specific um, thing that I want to look at here. Do, 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 do. Okay. Uh, okay, so I did share this link in yesterday's live. Hopefully everybody can see this okay. This is the hazinginfo.org hazing death database. You can go here and it just kind of shows you like these are all the kids that have been lost to hazing. But I want to take a look at this one here for a reason. Lamore. Lamore Moore. I hope I'm saying her name right. Lamore Moore. She died in 2022. So this is obviously, she's the same year that, you know, unfortunately, the incident in Idaho happened. And actually, her death is 4 days after the Idaho incident, as we'll see here. So, we'll see. So, the incident description. Lamore Moore was pledging the Alpha Kappa Alpha, so AKA, right? Speaking AKA, she's an alpha. Yeah. So Lamore Moore was pledging Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority, Inc. at the Southern Illinois University, Carbondale in spring 2019. According to a lawsuit filed by her parents in 2025, Lamore endured a prolonged period of documented physical and psychological hazing, bullying, and sexual misconduct by the members of AKA Sorority, as well as fraternity members of Alpha Phi Alpha, that resulted in Lamore's mental deterioration. The behavior continued even after her mother withdrew Lamore from school and brought her home to Missouri to try to protect her mental health. And according to the lawsuit, Lamore died by suicide on November 17th, 2022. So I'll link the database for everyone once again today for anybody who wants it. Let's copy that, paste it here for you. I should put a disclaimer that obviously I'm not talking about all sororities and fraternities here, okay, before any of these poor little NPCs, lose their shit and think that I'm just painting with a broad brush all fraternities and sororities. I'm not. But those higher ranking ones, those fucking alphas, they're a problem. And I believe Mr. Gonsalves himself knows that. So anyways, there's the link for you on that. So the reason that I wanted to read Lamore here is because her suicide occurred literally 4 days after the University of Idaho incident. And what's interesting about it is that she was AKA, and let me stop sharing that for a second because now we're going to go take a look at this instead, because this is also related to her. So I grabbed the link that's attached to her little description there on the website. And it's the lawsuit that her parents filed regarding her death. So I just want to make sure everybody can see that. Okay, should be good. Mercy Cat, where are you? There you are. Well, hello, beautiful darling. I hope you're having a wonderful Saturday. We got slammed with snow here. I don't know if you and Elroy got the snow, but we got the snow. I hope you're having such a good day, honey, and taking care of yourself and staying warm. Okay, so Lamore's parents here ended up suing. Okay. It says parents file a wrongful death suit claiming that hazing at SIU Greek houses led to their daughter's suicide. And this was published too, June 30th of 2025. So, it looks like this just happened middle of last year, summer of last year, is when they filed. It says the parents of Lamore Moore, a fluorescent woman and former Southern Illinois University Carbondale student who took her own life, are suing multiple sororities and fraternities associated with the SIUC over her death. The federal suit alleges 11 counts, including wrongful death, hazing, and more. So this is a federal suit, okay? Moore's body was discovered by her mother in their basement on November 17th, 2022. She was 24 years old. Spectrum News reached out to the fraternities and sororities during Friday afternoon, but has yet to hear back. It says, what you need to know. Lamore Moore's parents are suing Alpha Kappa Alpha and Alpha Phi, and multiple people identified as members or former members of each of the wrongful death of Moore. The suit says that Moore suffered through a, quote, prolonged period of documented physical and psychological hazing and bullying, which resulted in her mental deterioration, end quote. They allege the abuse defendants continued even after Moore withdrew from SIUC in 2020. So even after she withdrew in 2020 for 2 years, as is alleged in this lawsuit, they continued to harass her, threaten her, attempt to extort her, bully her. This is even after she withdrew for almost 2 years up to her suicide in 2022. Moore's dead body was discovered by her mother in their basement on November 17th, 2022. She was 24 years old. The suit says that Moore suffered through, quote, a prolonged period of documented physical and psychological hazing and bullying, which resulted in her mental deterioration. 2 chapters of the AKA sorority and 2 chapters of the Alpha Phi, Alpha Fraternity, APA, and multiple people identified as members of each were named in the suit as the defendants. During Moore's AKA initiation process in 2019, the suit alleges that Moore and other pledges were subject to hazing, harassment, sexual misconduct, and institutional inaction. According to the quote, factual allegations of the lawsuit, lawyers state it was mandatory for Moore to do quote, wall sits, duck walks, planks, and carrying heavy bags across the room while being berated and yelled at by senior sorority members, end quote. Quote, I'm exhausted. I'm sore every day and my head hurts, end quote, said Lamore Moore in a voice note recorded on or about March 11th, 2019, mentioned in the lawsuit. Quote, they made me hold a wall sit for 10 minutes while calling me weak, end quote. So this girl was sending voice notes to her mother while all this shit was going on. Keep that in mind. She's sending voice notes. Thank God her mother kept it all. Let me come back to chat. Can you guys see that okay? Can you hear me okay? Thank God her mother kept it all. Jackie B, hello. Welcome on in. Beach Babe, if I didn't say hi to you, hello. Okay. So, can you guys hear me okay? I just want to make sure we're good on audio here. So just keep in mind, as we get further into everything else we're going to look at today, we are in the age of technology. Okay? These kids leave voice notes for their parents. They leave notes in their phone that nobody else sees. Everybody puts everything in their notes. A lot of people keep everything digitally. They'll keep tabs in a Google Doc that nobody can access, etc., etc., etc. Okay? So, thank God this girl was sending voice notes and voice texts. And I have a feeling, a lot of these lawsuits here, once you get into the nitty gritty of them and once you get into these kids' devices and their laptops and their phones, you find a lot of sick, demented shit that they were being forced to comply with and or go along with due to their fraternity or their sorority. Think about the kids that died out at WSU. You think that the police didn't access their phones and their computers? You think they don't go into the victim's stuff? Of course they do. Of course they do. Whether they have to get a warrant for it or they get the parents to access that shit or they get permission to access it, for their investigation. Like, I'm just saying, keep it all in mind. Keep it all in mind that there's a lot of people in these fraternities and sororities. They do everything digitally. And whether you know it or not, all of you little fuckwads who like to bully them and extort them and treat them like they're lesser human beings and turn them into these mindless little robots, guess what? They're keeping tabs on all of you digitally, whether you fucking know it or not. And when something happens to them, law enforcement can access all of it. All of it. Including all your stupid little Snapchats that you think are secret, and they're not. You think your Snapchats go away. It's fucking hysterical. It's so hysterical that you think they don't have your Snapchats. And you think they don't have your WhatsApp. Okay? Just stop. Okay? So keep all this in mind. As we go forward here, we'll find out that, a lot of voice notes, voice texts, digital evidence. Digital evidence. All right, so here we go here. They made me hold a wall sit for 10 minutes while calling me weak. After persevering through various hazing activities, Moore's family and friends, quote, observed a dramatic shift in her behavior. She became withdrawn, fearful, and emotionally distressed, end quote. Following her initiation, the suit alleges Moore was subjected to a, quote, post process, an abusive continuation of rituals involving emotional, psychological, and in some cases sexual coercion designed to enforce submission and maintain silence, and, quote, they have digital evidence of it. Leonetta Simpson, Moore's mother, reports that she sent multiple written communications to the national and regional officers of AKA about her daughter's deteriorating mental health as a result of hazing that led to hospitalization for psychosis. So, the national and regional officers of AKA were informed by this girl's mother about the daughter's deteriorating mental health as a result of the hazing that ultimately led to her hospitalization for psychosis. Simpson said in court documents that she shared messages and voice recordings with her lawyers from an exchange with Moore in October 2019 stating, quote, "I feel like I'm being watched all the time. It's like I pledged to be a prisoner and not a sister," end quote. It's funny because didn't Kaylee feel like she was being fucking watched and stalked all the time too? Right? But technically, what they all thought it's a guy. It's a guy. I'm going to go out on a limb here, just my own observation, my own gut, my own little brain worm. I don't think she was being stalked by some random dude. She was being stalked and anybody was monitoring her and watching her all the time. It's her goddamn fucking sorority sisters that apparently it looks like she's trying to get the hell away from and wants nothing to do with. Just my opinion. Moore began reporting her mental distress, including paranoia, depression, and suicidal ideation, to her family and healthcare professionals in late 2019, according to the suit. Moore was hospitalized at least 4 times between 2020 and 2022 at multiple hospitals. Quote, and her treating physicians directly linked her condition to trauma from her sorority hazing experience, end quote, according to the suit. So even the treating physicians and psychologists are directly linking her condition, her psychosis, to the trauma from the hazing that was done at the sorority. Quote, during treatment, she disclosed to medical personnel at Touchette Regional Hospital that she had been sexually assaulted by someone affiliated with the sorority. While she did not disclose the name of the perpetrator at the time, subsequent information is linked at least one APA member per the lawsuit. So, like, literally someone affiliated with the sorority, so a member of her own sorority, sexually assaulted her and or set her up to be sexually assaulted by a frat member that they're associated with. The court documents also say she told a therapist in January of 2022 that she'd been drugged and raped twice by different men at the school. One of these events reportedly occurred in September 2020. Moore withdrew from SIUC in October 2020 and returned to her Florissant home. From 2020 through 2022, but sidebar. You know what? I'll keep it. It's going to stay in my brain. I'm going to keep that as a sidebar. I'll just keep that as a brainworm to myself. Scratch that sidebar, Your Honor. From 2020 through 2022, defendants continued harassing Lamore while she was living at home. So for 2 years, while she's living at home and has withdrawn from school, while she's being admitted into the hospital repeatedly for psychosis. From 2020 through 2022, defendants continued harassing Lamore while she was living at home in St. Louis, alleges the lawsuit. Quote, Lamore received repeated coercive and threatening messages from named defendants and others, including texts referencing her disclosures, warning her to stay silent, and implying retaliation. She spoke out. Shit wild. Mittens for Kittens, hello. I'm coming back to chat for a minute. Thank you everybody for being here. Phenomenon, hello. Diane Draper, where are you? There you are. Hi, honey. Good to see everybody. Can you believe this shit? Mittens for Kittens, hello. How you doing, honey? Yeah, it's wild. Tanya, hello. Moonlit Baby, hello. Hope everybody's having a good Saturday. Get comfy, friends. We've got a lot to look at, and it's diabolical shit. Okay? If this triggers you, you should click the fuck out. Just saying. Don't leave no comments later if you're talking about, oh my God, I can't believe you talked about... Nope, I'll delete your comment. Just letting you know. I will delete that shit. So for 2 years, even after she withdrew, her sorority sisters, ex-sorority sisters, were not only harassing her, but sending her texts referencing her disclosures, warning her to stay silent and implying retaliation if she spoke out. So they're telling her, bitch, we know you're going to the hospital. We know that you withdrew. You have psychosis, right? Because now it's been reported to the chapter people. We know that you're being treated for psychosis and PTSD due to the hazing. And if you fucking tell anybody, you better stay silent. Or guess what? Some shit will happen to you. This is what they're, texting her. They're dumb enough to actually text it. Okay? They literally think they're untouchable and they're dumb enough to text it. In April 2021, Moore mailed her mother funeral instructions because of the ongoing and continuing abuse. Per the lawsuit, which adds more witnesses and former AKA members corroborated the patterns of abuse. So, her mother, per the lawsuit, I'm guessing, the attorneys for the lawsuit and their investigators were able to add more witnesses that are former AKA members who corroborated the patterns of abuse that Lamore's mother is claiming here. So she's gotten former AKA members to corroborate the abuse. Simpson attempted to reach out to high-ranking members of AKA numerous times, but received little or no response per the lawsuit. The lawyers behind the suit declare that Moore's death was a foreseeable and preventable consequence of an unauthorized and abusive intake process orchestrated by agents of AKA and members of APA. It also noted that AKA did not conduct an internal investigation nor offer support before or after Moore's death. So before or they didn't, AKA did fucking nothing. Nothing. The estate of Lamore Moore demands a trial by jury. The case number to look up in this lawsuit on Pacer is this right here. So if anybody wants to go access the full case number, I'm sorry, this full lawsuit, it's on Pacer. Let me copy that. Paste that in chat. I know a bunch of you have access to Pacer out there. Kathy's Indie Zone. There's quite a few of you I know who are in this chat that have access to this on Pacer, so you're more than welcome to go grab it. If you do grab it, would you please tag me, link me, something, so that I can also get a copy of it. I don't have Pacer, but I would love to be able to read through the full suit. So, if somebody could get that on Pacer and you want to, send that to me, I would be very, very grateful. Okay. I don't use Pacer, but. So there's that. And it says here the defendants face the following 11 counts: wrongful death, survival action under Missouri law, negligent supervision and retention, hazing, negligent entrustment as to defendants AKA, negligent entrustment as to the defendants APA, intentional infliction of emotional distress, civil conspiracy, joint enterprise liability, conspiracy to interfere with civil rights, and negligent infliction of emotional distress. Okay. So the link for this, I'll also drop in chat for anybody who wants it for this article here. There you go. Okay, stop sharing that. Let me be able to, I just want to be able to close things out here as I go along. Okay, it's this one here that I have. Okay, so I think this is the next one I wanted to get into. No, it's not, sorry. But I need to refresh that. Is it this one? It's that one. Okay, cool. All right, so the next thing that we're going to look at here is just a couple of things from the Gonzalez lawsuit here against WSU, and the reason that I'm looking at it, or the reason I should say that I want to look at it, is because there's a portion of it here that I think plays into, how a college kid could end up trafficked, right? And or preyed upon I guess you could say. Where is it? That one, I think it is. Yeah. Okay. So, let's take a little peeky poo at this. Okay. Come back to chat for a minute. I want to take a sip of my drink, my coffee here. Then we're going to take a little peeky poo at this because it all plays in together, in my opinion. And, we're just going to refresh our memories here of what was said in this lawsuit. Gonsalves et al. Against WSU. Because I think that this is an example of how your college-age daughter and or son, but it tends to be predominantly females that this happens to, could end up being groomed and or trafficked. And for me, the pipeline between the two, campus police, right? Like, how could a campus police officer even have the ability to groom and or traffic a student, right? For me, the direct pipeline is, well, via the sororities and the fraternities. That's just my opinion. Okay, I'm entitled to it. Again, as I always say here, friends, never listen to me, never run with anything I say. I don't know shit. Okay, I do not know shit, but that is my opinion. The trafficking of college age kids on campuses, to me, you probably have a direct pipeline from the people being trafficked to the people who are paying for the trafficking. Do you get what I'm saying? To me, it's the members of the community that would be of higher rank and who abuse their power. Those are the ones that are paying to have sex with a 19, 20-year-old college girl. Your cops, your lawyers, your judges, your mayors, your governors, the people who own the, multi-million dollar businesses and corporations in that town and or city and whatever. I mean, that's just my opinion. It's just my opinion. Those are the people paying for it. It's not, the broke-ass guy who lives in the trailer park down the street paying for these sorority girls. It's not. These sorority girls, the ones that are the sugar babies, who do you think their sugar daddies are? Their sugar daddies aren't the crackheads living in the trailer parks. Their sugar daddies are the older married men with money whose wives have no idea that they're paying for sex with college students. Okay? And that's just my opinion. Mary P., hello. So good to see you. Welcome on in. It's funny too because the way that I've kind of always been of the mindset of if you're an adult, right? What you choose to do in the privacy of your own place with another consenting adult is none of my business, right? The problem here is that even though these college students are adults, they're being groomed and manipulated, and it starts in their frats or sororities that are doing the hazing. They're breaking them down mentally, doing these humiliation rituals. They're recording these humiliation rituals with their phones and shit like that to use it as blackmail and extortion later, just like they did with Lamore Moore, where if you think you are going to get out of this fucking sorority with our secrets, we will literally tell you, you better not fucking tell anybody. We will threaten you take secrets with you. You don't tell anyone, right? And they did that more and more, according to the suit. So, this happens so much across so many campuses. This is not just they try and say that this is, it's not that big of a deal. It's just like one little instance. So what? It's not no, bullshit. Bullshit. Karmic Retribution, so good to see you, honey. Hello, Monique, hello. Welcome on in. Hope everybody's having a great day. Leslie and Billy, so good to see you. Altruistic Murder, hello. Hope everybody's having a great day. Welcome on in, friends. Welcome on in. If I missed you, I'm sorry. Okay, so let's go take a little peeky poo at the WSU lawsuit. One more time, we're just going to read a couple of paragraphs out of here to refresh our memory, okay, on how this can happen. It says here, the WSU Police Department is intended to be a critically important bulwark when it comes to protecting students in the community from sexual harassment, stalking, and dangerous predators. However, prior to Mr. Koberger being hired by WSU and arriving in the Pullman Moscow community, the WSU Police Department had a long, troubling, and sordid history of tolerating and, in fact, fostering inappropriate sexual behavior in its own ranks and discouraging complete and accurate reporting of such misconduct. In 2007, the WSU Chief of Police was demoted after an internal investigation found that he had viewed inappropriate emails on his university computer and then forwarded those to other WSU police and invited them to view them. In 2011, WSU was fined over $80,000 by federal officials because of multiple sexual assaults that were not properly reported. WSU did not dispute the findings of the federal investigation. In 2022, WSU undertook an investigation of improper sexual activities by the WSU police force involving allegations that an officer had sex with a victim in the presidential suite of the Martin Stadium and the WSU Observatory while on duty, and that WSU Police Department leadership did not properly report the incidents. The investigation ultimately found that police department leadership exhibited gross misconduct, incompetence, and neglect of duty in response to claims of sexual misconduct. In August of 2022, the WSU Police Chief, Assistant Chief, and Captain all resigned prior to facing discipline for their actions. In response, WSU President Kirk Schultz issued a public statement indicating that, quote, WSU will not tolerate this kind of behavior nor the negligence of departmental command staff. A subsequent investigation into the offending officer during the fall semester of 2022 found that he engaged in predatory grooming behavior while in a supervisory role and had a history of sexual misconduct, and that the WSU Police Command fostered an environment that discouraged reporting sexual misconduct. Okay? So it's not just the professors you have to worry about and the instructors doing the grooming and being the predators. It's the actual police who these college girls are supposed to be able to go to report when they've been assaulted. Report when they've been groomed. Well, you can't go to those officers because they're the ones who are the fucking predators and the groomers. So let's stop sharing that. I'm also going to copy and paste this one more again. For anybody who doesn't have it, this is the full lawsuit for Gonsalves et al. Against WSU. I just wanted to read those couple of paragraphs as a refresher. So, you know, this officer who's grooming and sexually assaulting female students, that is a form of trafficking. For anybody who isn't aware, okay? That's a form of trafficking. The grooming leads to the trafficking. Him forcing sexual acts from a student, right? You stop a student for a minor in possession. She's a 19-year-old college girl. She's drunk. She's not supposed to be drunk, and she's not supposed to be in possession of alcohol. The fines for that shit out there are $500, $600, $700, right? This guy's like, well, you know, I mean, there's some other things you can do to get out of that fine. And then once it's happened once, now you can just continue to repeatedly abuse that same person. That person may be able to, you'd be able to get her friends or something. Like, do you get what I'm saying? It's a form of trafficking. It's grooming, and grooming leads to the trafficking. It is what it is. Agreed, Meg. It's so gross. It's so unbelievably diabolical. Like, I've never wanted to work for the government, but I can tell you if I did ever get a job with the government and working for the government, the only job I'd ever want to have is catching all of these fucking predator cops who are pedophiles, groomers, and sexual abusers. I want to catch them all like fucking Pokemon, bro. That's the only government job I'd ever take. Whatever job you have in the government, spooks, if you're listening, because I know you are, find me the job that lets me catch all of these fucking pigs like Pokemon. Okay? Make it a game for me. Make it an app that I can download. Okay? Spooks, make it happen. All right, so I can close that out. Did I share that in the chat for you guys? The link for that? Or did I not? Oopsie poopsie. Maybe I didn't. Put that there. There's the link for the full lawsuit. Okay. What do I have next? AZ, what up? Annie Ruler, hello. Welcome on in. Is anybody else I'm missing? Sorry. Jilly, hello. Okay. All right, next. So I can close that one out. I don't need that tab open anymore. Okay. All right, so the one that we're going to get into here for the purposes of the title of the live, Human Trafficking on College Campuses, because I had some people. I saw last night, too, in Willie's live, Terminus Null, right? Terminus Null is banned on my channel, so it is what it is. They're probably just listening in the background now. I saw Terminus Null in Willie's chat last night talking about, oh, all my sorority did was X, Y, and Z. They trucked us through the woods blindfolded and we ended up at a party, right? That was the worst of it. Or we just forced someone to eat 3 pounds of Jell-O. It's no big deal. Blah, 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 right? It's like, are you that desperate for friends that that's, and I'm so very sorry to anybody who, if you're in my chat and you were a member of a sorority or fraternity and none of this happened and you don't see it as a problem, the hazing, right? Maybe some hazing happened and you just don't see it as a problem because you think it's normal. You know what I mean? I get it. I get it. But I gotta tell you, I'm a different breed, okay? Since little tiny child, different breed. You could leave me alone for hours and I'd be fine. I never wanted a friend so fucking bad that I would let them abuse me and humiliate me. I'd rather just be alone. Know what I'm saying? So my mind can't even wrap itself around the mentality of anyone who would be so fucking desperate for friends that they would allow these air quote friends to abuse them, humiliate them, and do it on a ritualistic level. Right? You're going to catch these fucking hands, is how I feel about that. So, I just can't get there. My mind can't get even into that headspace. With this, oh, well, it gives you connections for life. But, I don't care. I'd rather not have the connection. I'd rather not be connected to people who were ritualistically abused by people who they call friends. Right? Because that's what it is. It's a ritualistic abuse. Ritualistic humiliation. It's fucking wild. It's absolutely insane, and my mind could never be there, ever. My automatic response, visceral response, is to fight it with every fiber of my being, right? So, it is where it is. What it is. That's where we are, friends. I'm giving you my brain, just giving you my brain. But I thought it was funny. A lot of people in this chat last night were trying to glaze for this shit. Trying to glaze for the hazing, glaze for the fucking trafficking, glaze for the sexual assaults that occur, the fucking raping going on college campuses and stuff. Just glazing this shit left and right. Trying to act like it's, oh, you're just making a big deal out of nothing. You're just making a big deal out of nothing. These people can literally kiss my whole ass. I'm gonna make such a big deal out of it. You have no idea. I've just begun to make a big deal out of it. This is only the fucking beginning. You understand? This is only the beginning. Y'all have no idea where I'm going with this shit. Okay? It's only the fucking beginning. When I tell you I plan to expose every single dirty fucking deed these frats and sororities do to your kids, I'm on it. On it. Like white on rice. Okay? And I'm never going to stop talking about it, and I'm never going to stop shining a light on it, because that's what, sunlight is the best disinfectant. It really is. And you have to shine a light on these things in order for them to be disinfected and cleansed. Okay? It is what it is. All right, so let's get to the next one here. This is what we're really going to take a look at. So we were looking at this the other day in the other live that we did. And now we're going to go through a few pages of it. Now, I did share it to my community tab as well. And I said, hey, you guys should go and read through these pages here. We're not going to read through the whole 49 pages, but this is the investigation that was done by a lead PhD professor out at San Diego University on her investigation into human trafficking that's occurring on college campuses, because there wasn't a lot of data for it. And she wanted to, at least try to get some data on the topic. And I did link this in the description for anybody who wants to go grab it and follow along. You're more than welcome. It lists the colleges that she's talking about in the beginning of this. She goes into, demographics. It was a survey where I think it was 1,013 people participated. It was an anonymous survey that was done in hopes of getting people to answer honestly by it being anonymous. Basically what it came down to, all the results down here. Survey results are reported below, including both qualitative and quantitative data. In addition, a number of respondents requested to be contacted. So that's interesting. And as you can see down here, so when it comes to gender and relationship, 26% of males who responded, these are the ones that responded that they believe human trafficking is a major problem. It's a moderate to major problem on their campus. 26% of the respondents are male, 73% are female. And then it gives you their races here. Talks about first year, they were either a first year undergraduate, 2+ year undergraduate, that's the highest, right? 60%. 60% of these people either experienced it, saw it happening, heard about it, went through it, etc. And then these are all the different institutions that they came from who participated in the survey. These were all the colleges that they went to. So it looks like the highest here was University of California, San Diego, 20% of the people in the survey came from there. And as we get down, this is what I want to look at. So 13% out of 1,000 respondents were affiliated with a Greek student organization. 13% out of 1,000 of these respondents. 7%, 63 of them were in a sorority, 28 of them in a fraternity all male, and 24 of them in a fraternity that's co-ed. Over half of them worked. 7% were in foster care. Here's their current housing situation. So 50% of them currently paid for housing, 35% living with family, and 31% off-campus apartment and housing. And then it talks about financial instability and food insecurity. 41% of these people ever wondered as a college student how they would get their next meal due to financial constraints. 43 of the students said they always wonder. 5% of these students said they always wonder how they're going to get their next meal. And then we have human trafficking perspectives. On a scale of 1 to 5, how much of a threat do you think human trafficking is to students on your campus? 21% of them consider it to be a large threat. So 14% said 1, no threat at all. 27% said 2. 23% said 3. 14% said 4. And 21% said 5. So 58% of students thought that human trafficking was a medium to large threat to students on their campus. 13% said they had never heard, seen, or suspected human trafficking recruitment by force, fraud, coercion, or underage 18 involvement in selling sex on a college campus. When and where they saw suspected recruitment occur on or off college campuses are described in the quotes from the participants below. So buckle up, friends, because this is what we're going to get into. We're going to get into their quotes. We're going to get into some of the things that they disclosed, these participants, what they saw happening around them with regards to human trafficking on their campuses and off campus. You know, off campus apartments and housing. Okay. So, let's get into it. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Did you thumbs it up yet? By the way, did you thumbs it up, thumbs it down, follow your heart, not your frown? You know what I'm saying? If you're here, you should do something. Do something with your life. Kidding. Happy Saturday, everybody. Rex, hello. Yes, I hate to see. I hate to see it too. Yeah. I hate to see it too, but it is what it is. We're going to shine a light on it, friends, and this is just the beginning. I'm never going to stop, okay? Sorry. Liz, hello. Layla, hello. Good to see you. Don't worry, we're going to get to reading this in just a second. We're going to get into some of the quotes from these participants. I'm just taking I'm hitting my vape, and I'm taking a sip of my coffee, okay? Stay, coffee. Do not spill over on me. I woke up this morning with the worst sciatic pain ever, so I'm like propped up with pillows and a blanket right now. I'm trying to just sit still and not move too much. My fucking back is killing me. My God. I don't know what I did, y'all, but holy shit. All right, so let's get into this. All right, so for recruitment on campus. So this is the participants of this survey. These are some of their disclosures, okay, as far as how they saw recruitment for trafficking occurring on their campus. Okay, quote, some nights, boys and men hang around college hostels in their flashy cars solely to make off with any interested girls around. Some of these girls just want to have fun and will go with anyone they can think that they could have a good time with. Of course, they understand they would have to have sex with them at the end of the day, but yeah, they are good with that, end quote. Let's make that bigger for you guys. Another quote. This happens in different ways. One, a girl or a set of girls come to school in expensive cars and they don luxury clothes and shoes. Whoever wants to feel among them tries to be friends with them and joins the train. She starts to feel left out or look like the odd one out and later asks to be taken along everywhere they visit, end quote. Another quote, this is a way they easily recruit on campus, end quote. Another one, of course, students get poached for sex trafficking on campus. The traffickers lurk around on campus disguised as workers in different parts of the institution. They just make you feel like it's the only way for you to survive college. Easy money, if discretion is promised and maintained. You get to meet a lot of people who are way older but wish to have sex with young girls, end quote. Another one. Recruitment for sex trafficking doesn't occur often due to the level of security on campus, per my sources. They know the implications and consequences and therefore don't risk speaking to possible recruits. The only thing these pimps and their agents do on campus is assess their possible recruits, ensure they can be tamed, and observe them quietly quite well before approaching them in less congested areas. Their approach doesn't look deliberate or intentional, rather accidental. The manner and approach in which they eventually make their words believable are discreet to themselves alone, but it's how it's done. Some are actually college students who have as well been tasked with imploring their mates and peers into selling sex. These recruits get maltreated by their eventual sugar daddies and appear the next day with bruises and injuries. Perhaps they weren't aware of the consequences that came with being alone in a room with a stranger. I think BIPOC students are mostly targeted to avoid less suspicion. Forgive me for revealing this, but it's just the simple truth. End quote. There are traces of it all over them on campus. You see these boys and girls coming to classes in luxurious cars, wearing renowned brands of expensive clothing and shoes. They try to use this to intimidate others who may not have as much as they do, and also in the process, try leaning them towards making acquaintances whilst they introduce them into how it is they can afford these items. College students are quite fickle and gullible. Despite various attempts by the school management on the education of sex trafficking and their operations, they still fall prey to these lies of these agents tell. These traffickers are actually students whose actions and activities at the behest of drug lords and cartel members. Let's read that again. These traffickers are actually students whose actions and activities are at the behest of drug lords and cartel members. They sell drugs on campus, albeit no one really knows their faces, but sources say their numbers rise on the daily, despite the attempts to curb the spread. They do this just to make money they would actually not make working at groceries or shops. At San Diego City College, guys looking for girls to work for them. At San Diego City, college guys are looking for girls to work for them. It happened between my friend and bully, my first year in school. I have seen this a couple times, and it seems people are not talking about it. In my sophomore year in college, I got a whiff of some girls getting into this business with an older guy who used to sponsor them financially. Later on, he introduced these two girls into going clubbing with him. From there, things escalated. Girls belong to sorority groups, yes. Some only actually join these groups to recruit other babes into their line of work, as they are given a percentage and commission for every new girl who gets introduced. It's in no way a forced recruitment, but I think so much more can be done within these groups rather than be a center or avenue for sex for hire for girls and ladies. Let's read that again. Girls belong to sorority groups, yes. Some only actually join these groups to recruit other babes into their line of work, as they are given a percentage and commission for every new girl who gets introduced. It's in no way a forced recruitment, but I think so much more can be done within these groups rather than they are a center or avenue for sex for hire for girls and ladies. Underage recruitment on campus is the question, and this person says definitely not, but I can attest to the fact that sex selling is lucrative for college girls. They are young, perhaps naive, and tend to appreciate every little dime they get. So they just try to flex those little luxurious things that they get. Seeing the flex, some others start to feel inferior and would want to match their spendings. Ultimately, they become a part of this business as well. College boys buy sex, rich, old men buy sex, and even the fathers of these college boys tend to buy sex from these college girls through their sons' introductions. It happens discreetly on campus. They got guys to seduce juniors into coming to their homes to have sex. Dealers exist on campus. Some even go as far as staying on campus because they believe dormitories and school surroundings are kind of insulated, thereby using different dead spots in campus to conduct this shady business of theirs. Various students have been met across different places on campus, many of whom now push drugs and other substances even outside the campus. They approach people on campus, of course. On one occasion, an acquaintance of my sister's was approached. The lady who accosted her tucked a card into her pocket and asked her to call the number on it if she ever needed money or other material things. At first, she thought it was just a prank, but it wasn't. They love their fucking pranks, don't they? She called to confirm the legitimacy of it, but the number was a blocked one. Days later, she got a call, and to her surprise, it was a woman at the other end of the phone. Pretty sure they did all this as a precaution to avoid being tracked. Discussions on how they could help her financially if she was willing to hook up with young men around took place. She lied she wouldn't follow through with them, but I'm sure she did. Oh, she lied and said she wouldn't follow through with them, but I'm sure she did. She definitely followed up at her discretion. So this girl, this person who is disclosing this is saying, yeah, I'm pretty sure my friend actually did take them up on their offer. She just did it discreetly. Older students and other ladies in the business try as much to persuade younger ones new intakes into this business. They lie and tell them they need someone who watches out for them financially and are convinced sexual favors is the only way to repay them. The young, vulnerable ones start to feel like it's only logical they fend for themselves and fall victim. On campus during the faculty's dinner party one year is, what another person disclosed. That's where they saw this trafficking happening, was on campus during the faculty's dinner party one year. In rare cases, sex trafficking occurs right under everyone's nose on campus, considering how discreet these people operate. They look sharp, smart, and wealthy, even students among them. They try to look impressive, as a first impression matters to people a lot. Whoever is approached or contacted online feels impressed and would want to do what they say to live a life like that, getting deceived or less exploited. You can't pinpoint exactly where their base of operations is on campus, but I can assure you they are everywhere. They look for pitiful ones who seem too young to be a problem. They go around classes looking out for those who don't attach themselves to others and wouldn't be noticed if they were to skip or miss classes often. A few girls tried to get me to go out with them last semester. I know they are into some kind of weird stuff, but I declined. Boys do this as well. They try to poach college girls for men of rank outside the university in exchange for commission, like a kind of percentage for every student that they introduce. This is in no way a forced process, rather than lobbying and devious persuasions, right? So they get the boys to go poach college girls for high-ranking men outside the university, and these boys get paid a commission to go find the girls who are willing to do it for money. Like the frat bros. They have them go find the girls. No one's intentions are clear because even your closest friends may be agents of theirs. There are boys in their 30s who act as intermediaries, pimps, between these girls and whoever's getting sex from them. Some girls hide behind going to parties unknowingly to their parents. They are really escorts and sex toys. These boys take these ladies away every weekend in cars deep into the night and bring them back very early in the morning. Then it said, then we're going to start here. The invitation to the parties and social groups is also another form. Okay, so that was one portion of it, friends. What do you think about that? What do you guys think about that? Right? So this is just one campus, by the way. This is just San Diego. These are just the findings for San Diego. Nowhere else. Imagine if this professor here was able to go conduct this kind of a study on every campus in the country, what the numbers would look like. Imagine that. 100% coercive manipulation to the point females think they are the ones in control. Yep. Isn't it wild, honey? Isn't it absolutely insane? Now you get why I had all those brainworms for you the other day in my text messages, huh? Because this is the shit that my brain's been on. These are the brainworms that I've had for like the last week. Trafficking, people's life insurance policies, people's inheritances. Where did all the money go? I'm not trying to be mean, but like, where's the money that belonged to the victims, right? Where'd it go? Who got it? Was it put up in probate? Did any of these kids have life insurance policies? Anything like that? Like, where's, you know, my brain's just been dealing with a lot of stuff, okay? I've had a lot of brain worms for the last few days. Don't be hating. Hello. How you doing? Yeah, exactly. I agree with you, Mary P. Do not pay for Greek life for your children. Exactly. Don't be hating. These traffickers are actually students whose actions and activities are at the behest of drug lords and cartel members. Yes, don't be hating. I know. Isn't that wild? Yeah. It's wild. It's absolutely wild. What they'll do too is they'll have the frat boys and other people go, recruit. They're the pimps, The sorority girls do it too. The sorority girls, this is why, they're looking for new recruits every year. They need those new freshmen every single year so they can haze them, mentally abuse them, physically abuse them, break them down, ritualistically abuse them, and then, get them from that point. Once you've ritually abused someone for a period of time to the point that you've broken their mind down so bad that they believe they just have to be a mindless robot that does everything you fucking say, it's a lot easier to traffic them. It's a lot easier to manipulate them, right? Just saying. So I don't care what anybody says. I'm not saying it's all frats and all sororities that do this, but there is a fucking significant portion of the higher ranking frats and sororities who do this, and they work together because they all fucking profit from it. The young ones, the young vulnerable ones, are the commodity. They are the money. They are the fucking paycheck for these pieces of shit who prey on them and prey on their vulnerability and prey on their, naivete, right? They prey on the fact that they might be young, naive, a little bit dumb, broke, don't have no friends, don't have no parents, they're struggling. They prey on that shit. You are the perfect fucking prey for these people when you go around telling everybody about all your trauma and everything that you're going through. And oh my God, right? You got to be fucking real careful who you share your personal shit with. Young ones, be very careful who you share your personal emotional feelings with. Because there are plenty of people out there that are just waiting for you to be vulnerable with them so they can fucking manipulate it. And you need to be careful. You need to be careful. Okay? Not all these bitches are part of your tribe. Not everyone on your ship is there because they want to see you make it to the promised land. Some of the people on your ship are poking fucking holes on the way, hoping your ship sinks. Know what I'm saying? So be careful out there, friends. Be very careful. Any of you young ones listening out there, for real. You got these women or these men out here talking about, but I'm your brother, or but I'm your sister, because they're your fraternity and they're your sorority people. We love you. We're your sisters. We're your sisters. But then they also drug you, assault you, make you, force you to give BJs to the frat bros and their dads. Okay? Those people don't love you and they don't care about you. And you should get away from them as quickly as possible and then get a lawyer to sue the fuck out of them. But that's just my opinion and my advice, and that's what I would do if I was in this situation. My kid would be immediately removed. I'd cancel my check, and every fucking dime that would have been spent at the university for my kid to go get their education, it's going to be used to get the best fucking lawyers on the planet and sue the absolute balls off of everyone. Everyone. I'm taking everyone's testicles in my briefcase. Know what I'm saying? And that's just how I feel about that. Everyone's nuts are getting clipped, and I'm going to keep them in my fucking briefcase. This was my kid. All right, so another form of trafficking that these people saw on their campus is the invitation to parties and social groups. One person says, I heard that there are fake parties where it's a trap for sex trafficking. Whilst I was an undergraduate, I almost joined a group of girls whom I thought were doing well as regards to feminism on campus. Little did I know it was just a smokescreen, and they were actually the promiscuous ones who skipped school for parties with older, rich men. They were used by these men to push drugs across various campuses and among dorm students. In sorority groups on college grounds, students try to recruit other students into giving sexual services to boys from other schools. All these to get a percentage of the proceedings from the transactions. They themselves get into the act and use the referral as another way of making money without lifting a finger. I, for one, got an invite to an exclusive party right on campus. I went, but party wasn't really what I expected. Of course, the party was held outside the college grounds. It was atypical of a college student's party. There were grown men, some of whom clearly were into organized crime, that were in attendance, hoping to get a dance or more with these college girls that were around. Some went home with a few of them, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't the first time they did. On campus, there are college students who aid and abet the sex trafficking. Some are older and happen to have these newbies under their thumb. They appear under the guise of caring and looking out for them, using their manipulative instincts to encourage these girls to see boys and other men outside the college and have sex to, quote, settle your bills, they often say. They appear under the guise of caring and looking out for them, using their manipulative instincts to encourage these girls to see boys and other men outside college and have sex to, quote, settle your bills. According to sources, the Sorority Girls Club is actually where most of the girls get recruited. It's actually easy to recruit girls through this group, as there'd be lesser suspicion of their activities. Not the leaders of the group, though. The bad eggs are just in camouflage and mix in with the whole group, keenly observing anyone who feels dejected. Students recruit other students into selling sex. Some are as a result of accident and victims of circumstances. Others are willing sellers. Nevertheless, recruitment takes place on and off campus. Members of the cheerleading group on campus were said to have been involved in selling sex at a time. They use newbies as well as tools for making waves in the business by deceiving them into having sex with boys, or they themselves claiming it's a form of a ritual for new intakes. So, hey, if you want to get into this sorority, sorry, you got to go have sex with the boys. It's part of the ritual. It's part of the ritual for the intake if you want to get in. Sex trafficking recruitment takes place on campus, in dormitories, and at the ladies' center. Knowing they can't see a better gathering of ladies than there, they try to encourage other ladies to make fast money being call girls, as opposed to the grocery stores most of them work in, where they don't even get paid much. These are girls who stay on campus who are hookers and sex for hire off campus at night. These girls in turn try to downplay the risks associated with the hustle and tell their fellows it ain't actually that bad. Information regarding parties are everywhere on campus. Students decide which to go and which is perceived to be unsafe. However, some students persist and go to the parties that would otherwise not be expected of responsible students. Here, they meet people whose agenda they don't know and may get trafficked sexually, raped afterwards, and defiled. From school parties to dorm parties, college girls introduce boys and men to one another, men whose interest in them is purely sexual. They don't really know the details of the sexual transactions. One thing that's certain is that there's always an exchange of sex later on for monetary or other incentive purposes. Most girls in college tend to be 18 years old and above. So I think assuming that under 18 are being forced to sell their body for sex might be a difficult argument to make for college students. However, that doesn't mean they don't happen. Recruiting people is always easy. Think it's all about saying a few words to them with the hope that they are manipulated and leave their comfort zone to work for a pimp. From school parties and dinners to sorority events, girls meet a lot of people who are double-faced and who use them as instruments of sex if they could. Another one says here, it occurred as part of a fraternity initiation routine of which I saw from a distance. So one of these people here actually saw this being done as part of a fraternity initiation. Okay, next, online recruitment. Moving on to the next way that they do it. This is another form of how they get these, they have doing it directly on campus or off campus. We have now going into how they do it online with the recruiting. They recruit through the frats. They recruit through the sororities. They recruit off campus. They recruit at your job. They recruit everywhere. It could be your instructor. It could be the teacher's assistant. It could be the professor. It could be a police officer. Okay? Absolutely insane. So the next one that we're going to get into here is online recruitment. Welcome in, everybody. I hope you're having a great day. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Truly appreciate you. I can't see how many of you are here, but thank you all for being here. Appreciate it. It usually tells me, but my little box back here is so tiny I can't see it. Okay, so let's see. Next, we're going to get into the online recruitment. Yvonne, hello. Welcome on in. Mercy Cat. This is why I had to quit teaching undergrad at the Harvard of the South. Yeah, I bet, honey. I bet. I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine some of the shit these people have seen. Charlotte, hello, new subscriber and listening. Well, welcome on in, Charlotte. Appreciate you, new subscriber. Hope you're having a great Saturday. Thanks for being here. If I'm missing anybody, I'm so very sorry. Amy Conway, hello. So good to see you. Thank you for being here. Anytime, honey. Exactly, Willie, right? Exhibit A, yeah. Need some Z's. Hello. Didn't Steve G say that Kaylee was a hustler? Oh, yeah, I know, honey. I know. Part of the hustle, they say, right? Hopefully people get organized crime, Homeland Security, FBI, how it's all intertwined, right? Yeah. Well, you never know, right? Witchy was, hello. Welcome on in here. Okay. All right. Layla Burns says 105. All right. 105. That's where we're at. It's over 100 of you watching. Well, thank you. Yeah, exactly, Amy Conway. Right. They all work for each other. This is why they cover for each other. This is why the judges and the lawyers, we got to seal everything, oh my God, this would contribute, people would be up in arms if they knew this. Oh my God. It's just so stupid. I'm just so sick of it, right? Like, as far as I'm concerned. So for anybody, the whole point of me doing this live and starting to talk about this between the frat hazing video, now we're going to talk about today the human trafficking that is occurring on college campuses across the country, and it's just going to continue from here, friends. I have a lot more regarding this topic that we're going to cover. It's not just on the college campuses. You have no idea how this extends out to when they're done college. What do you think they do when they're done college? What do you think they do? You think that there's potential that many of these people, that even when they're done college, this is what they secretly do in their lives? And the, quote, businesses that they own are just front businesses? It's just to launder the money that you make from the trafficking? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. You think they don't carry this into their life as they go on in life, huh? You think they only do it to get through college? Yeah. Okay. I don't think that's why. I think that they actually take it with them for life. If you want my honest to God's opinion, I think it's just like, bro, it's like a demon. right? Once you let it attach itself to you, that shit never leaves, bro. It's like a demon. It's no different than a drug addiction, an alcohol addiction. To me, like, once you let that fucking monkey on your back, it ain't going away. No matter how much you want to pretend you're this wholesome person who, no, are you kidding? I worked my way through college. I did this, and this, and paid for it all myself. Yeah, okay, but how did you pay for it all yourself? How? Did you have to sell your soul and let a demon attach itself to you in order to do that? Do you now have secret oaths with people for the rest of your fucking life? Because you did it? Because to me, the shit ain't worth it. I'm sorry, the shit ain't worth it. That's just my opinion. It's not fucking worth it, man. Online recruitment. All right. So, think through. Yeah, we only got like one more page to read, and then you guys can go through the rest of the document at your will and at your leisure. Okay, there was just a few pages here I wanted to read specifically because it's everybody who participated in the survey actually disclosing information that they know, they've seen, they've witnessed. It's happened to them, whatever the case may be. So but yeah, I appreciate everybody being here. Hope you're having a great day. I need a sip of my coffee. Sorry, friends. Gonna have to hold, please, for a minute. Maybe I lost my chat. I hope I didn't lose my chat. Are we still here? I think we're still here. Oopsie poopsie. Did I lose my shit? Have I just been sitting here talking to myself? No, we're live. Okay, we're good. All right. All right, so let's get into this next part here. Online recruitment. All right. Says here, it's an online recruitment thing at UCSD. Most don't have knowledge of it, but it's how it's done. A broadcast list exists on some social media groups that have been created mainly to disseminate info, quite exclusively reserved for those who wish to attend the parties outside the universities or so. They go within and beyond San Diego, California, and the states generally. To the outside, it looks like a group merely for fellowship discussions, but it's much more than that. There are online groups where students associate with one another and are supposed to meet other students. These groups are created solely for academic purposes, but dysfunctional sets of people take people's cell numbers on the group, share them with certain outsiders who may or may not be college students, and whose endgame is to try to cuddle them up in hopes that they can get them to meet in person and convince them to acquaint each other with the hope of having sex with them. Don't know how it is they get privy to this information for a fact, but for a fact they have the cell numbers of a few girls on campus. They either copied it from their social media pages or school broadcast list. But those who have mostly been contacted, who were fortunate to not fall prey, were mostly BIPOC girls. I got a feeling they are targeted. The feeling is they will entice them with money or other expensive stuffs that are difficult to turn down in the hope they become call girls for them. And then another way is sex for grades. This is where your instructors and your professors fall in line here. And they're like, oh, you want to be on the dean's list every semester? Not a problem, sorority girl. Not a problem, sorority president. Not a problem. I can make sure you get on that dean's list with straight A's in my class every semester. Here's how. Some instructors and professors pressure a few students into having sex with them in exchange for marks and grades. Not trying to pinpoint, just saying, some deceive these girls and renege on their promises, while some come through with their word. The ones who deceive really make you think you are well off the required mark, make a nice GPA, and would propose that you do as they say to ensure you're still in school. They take this relationship outside college grounds in order to not arouse suspicion. What's saddening is that these girls appear to be enjoying the relationship when they are actually scared of pulling out, not knowing how consequential it can be. Wild. Threats. That's what a few professors use to get sex from girls in college. Those who don't make threats, most girls fear to detach themselves from for a fear of the unknown. You know what's interesting to me about the marks and the grades, right? Is like, in order for you to even be able to stay in your sorority or your fraternity, you have to usually maintain a certain GPA. And if you aren't maintaining that GPA, these predator professors and instructors, they're like, well, there's a way you could fix that actually, so that you don't have to get kicked out of your sorority or your frat house. We can make sure your GPA is where it needs to be. It's fucking sick and demented. And, like I said, I want to catch them all like Pokemon. I suspected sex in exchange for help in assignments between two of my mates. A few college professors are infamous for grading students for sex. Retrospectively, they have successfully had their way with past students and wouldn't stop until they are stopped or exposed. It happens a lot across campus, where students are coerced into having sex with lecturers to get a good test and exam score. Some class representatives also use their position to mediate between the college professors and these girls, with tests and examination marks guaranteed for both. So hey, sorority president, your grades are looking a little skimpy, her grades are looking a little skimpy. I can make sure both of you get good grades if you get me her. Fucking insane. Sexual favors really are granted among students on and off campus. A fact not known to the university management. A lecturer once threatened to make life and school miserable for a college girlfriend of mine at a time just because she kept refusing his advances. He tried to convince her of his innermost intentions, offering to pay her and help with college assignments as well. So this one professor here is like, bitch, I will pay for your school and I'll make sure you get straight A's. And she still said, reject. Get away from me, creep ass mofo. Know what I mean? She has some sense about her. I gotta tell you, man. I gotta tell you. I'm a different breed. Because I gotta tell you, I'd catch this motherfucker on video. I'd have a little pen in my pocket with a little hidden camera or some shit. Know what I mean? I'm not even joking. I'd have my phone recording him, threatening me, trying to coerce me. And I'm not going to the local fucking pedo cops and the groomer cops who are going to help this asshole. I'm going straight to the top. To the tippy top. It's where I would take that information. Taking it to the top, that's where it would go. Whoever this person was, her girlfriend had enough sense to reject this person, even though they offered to pay for her school and give her good grades. Interesting. Next, we have off-campus recruitment. Most of the actions definitely happen off campus, as no one really wants their involvement known. Some even travel, listen to this, some even travel as far as Mexico, of course. They sure do. They like to go to Cabo a lot. It's where they like to, I notice it seems to be your first year in the sorority. Your first year, second year are the Cabo trips. Then when you get into your third and fourth year, that's when you get to go to Europe. It's when you get to do the Paris and the Spain and you get to go to all of these other places. But it seems to be your first and second year, you got to go to Cabo. People get exploited, trafficked perhaps, but in my opinion, I don't think it happens on campus because of the too much exposure around, as well as the risk attached to it. It's easier trying to get at people rather outside at events, clubs, occasions, dinners, and sorts than trying to poach them on campus. Exploitations occur outside off-college campuses as well, sex trafficking included. Desperate ones turn to prostitution for money and get raped or harmed in other ways. Some even get lost and have not been found till this day. Of course, they have their ways of connecting with these pimps who use other businesses as a front for their shady dealings. Didn't I say that? Yes, they do. They absolutely do. Local loan sharks sometimes require sexual services as a form of debt repayment. This occurs outside college grounds often. Female students who take loans and default on the payment may often be required to tend to the services of one of the creditors as a form of repayment. Let's read that again. Local loan sharks sometimes require. It's not even a, hey, if you get in a sticky situation and can't pay me back, maybe we could work it out this way. It's a, hey, if you need me to give you X amount of dollars, it is required of you. You're going to do this for me whenever I need it and demand it. Coercion. Fucking insane. Pubs outside school, strip clubs, bars, and restaurants are places where these pimps peek at vulnerable kids. They study them and may even put a tail on them for observation. They will air tag you, 100%. They may even make acquaintances of them just to make themselves trustworthy. They offer to pay for lunch, walk them home, humor them, and do all sort of convincing things just to make them feel close enough to trust them to say yes whenever they feel they are ready to be sexually trafficked. Although there have only been a few cases of sexual exploitation amongst students only, it ain't the case generally, as per these girls mingle with even those who are outside the university grounds. Most of the people poach their preys right outside campus to avoid detection and suspicion. Anonymous invitations to parties are always honored by university students when they do not even know who and who's going to be there. They get in the mix with those whose intents are unknown. A few get entangled and may decide to link up again and again, and a few get lucky and meet nice rich men who would have sex with them and spoil them with money and luxury. So some of them get entangled and may decide to link up again and again and again, and then some of them get lucky to where they can meet one nice rich one who will just, actually be nice to them and spoil them and take care of them. Not the one that's gonna, abuse them and beat them up and whatever, right? Some of them are lucky enough to get just one rich guy who's like, don't worry about it. You don't have to do this with anybody else, just me, and I'll pay for everything. Fucking insane. Been to a couple strip clubs with them boys, and we was offered sex as a VIP treatment if we were interested. Strippers are supposed to just dance and be cuddled with no phones are allowed, nor cameras, which makes it an option for struggling college students to do, knowing that their secret is safe. Okay? So this person's saying here, I've been to a couple of strip clubs with them boys, and we were offered sex as a VIP treatment if we were interested. Strippers are supposed to just dance and be cuddled, and no phones or cameras are allowed, so this makes it an option for struggling college girls to do, knowing that their secret is safe. No one's recording them, they're not on camera. But these ladies offer much more than meets the eye. They've been used by the agency as a tool for selling sex and paying them enough money to keep them happy and mute. They pay them in just enough that they'll continue to do it and stay silent. It's been said around campus that these traffickers are a large organization with a wide network, hence it should come as no surprise to you Hence it should come as no surprise if you, who happens to find yourself in need of assistance, gets approached by a stranger who offers a way out. This is how they recruit young ones on campus. Tag and catch them off guard when they are vulnerable. A certain friend used to live in La Jolla in her first 2 years in Ivy College. We met an alumni who came We met an alumni who came for oratory event one day on campus while I was an undergraduate as well. He made sure he got our contact numbers and followed up with calls. She later informed me the man asked if she would be, quote, interested in rolling with men at the top, end quote, for a weekend. Like, quote, these men are having a party and we're in need of some young girls, basically escorts, end quote. Man spoke like he was a conduit of a kind as a pimp who recruited party girls for these men. The pimp kind of felt confident in asking this, like it wasn't his first time doing that. I'm pretty sure there are series of this on campus. I think a lot of these people too, sidebar, the people giving these statements, they speak broken English, which is why when sometimes it seems like the words aren't the right words or something, it's because these people who are saying this are speaking like broken English, whether they're Russian, German, Spanish, I have no idea, right? But it comes across even in the what's being said in the quotes. Okay, this man spoke like he was a conduit of some kind, a pimp who recruits party girls for men. The pimp kind of felt confident in asking this, like it wasn't his first time doing it. I'm pretty sure there are series of this on campus that we don't know about. She said she was open for such an experience, as she wouldn't be the only girl at the party after all. They've been real close since, like she felt any of the men could set her up for something later on. It shows how much she doesn't understand the consequences of her actions, end quote. So whoever this is like, yeah, ever since she went and did this with this guy, they've been real close ever since. And she thinks maybe she did it thinking that one of these men that this other guy, the pimp, is introducing her to is going to just be able to set her up for life. That's kind of why this her friend did it, in hopes that she'd just meet one who could set her up for life. Human trafficking, to my knowledge, doesn't happen anywhere on campus grounds. This is what this another participant is saying. Human trafficking, to my knowledge, doesn't happen anywhere on campus grounds. School resource officers are always on everyone's neck, which makes it difficult for people to come on campus to recruit students for trafficking. However, selling of sex is a major issue the school authorities should try to address. Even those who stay on campus, even those who stay in campus dorms and rooms smuggle themselves out some nights to party and have sex, getting paid after the acts. So even if you're in a sorority and like lights out 10 o'clock, you're not supposed to leave. Well, the lights go out, they leave, and this is what they're doing. And going and getting paid for it when they're done. Even those who stay in campus dorms and rooms will smuggle themselves out at night to go do it. This person says, I've heard different tales of human trafficking right outside CSU, but recruiters have laid low over the years at CSU as SROs on campus have been working tirelessly to curb the spread. Although a lot of students still engage in hookups and call girl businesses, considering their activities cannot be monitored outside the university. Right, so they won't do it on campus, they'll do it off campus where they can't be monitored. Off-campus seems ideal enough to observe and try recruiting some young blood. Maybe some of those who recruit are students as well, or maybe affiliated with college students in one way or another. Dance clubs, strip clubs, other relaxation centers are possible places where recruitment does take place. Students visit these places frequently to party, and most end up going with newly acquainted men to their homes. To call it human trafficking would be too extreme or too serious concerning the happenings at CSU. No one, to my knowledge, is being forced to have sex or taken against their wishes and will. Sidebar, trafficking isn't just you being taken against your will or forced. You're usually groomed into it. It starts with the grooming. So whoever this person is, giving this, it's fine. It's their opinion. This is their statement per, their quote from whatever they told these people in this survey. They think it's too serious or too extreme to call it trafficking because, well, they're not being forced or taken against their will. Rather, a few of them, emphasis on a few, flock into these dealings of their own accord, albeit not mostly at their own discretion. This doesn't make it any less true that pimps, whose connections make these dealings possible, exist around the university and surroundings and would jump at the opportunity of having one more person join their ranks. I have learnt that the more they are or show up, the more money they get paid. I have learnt, oh, maybe the more they recruit, the more they get or show up, the more money they get paid. In short, the higher the number of girls made available for sexual activity, the more the agency's commission, or in this case, the pimps, get paid. Right. So even this person who thinks it's too extreme or too serious to call it trafficking admits, oh yeah, I mean, these fucking pimps are all over here and they're always looking for girls and, yeah, makes sense. More girls, more money, right? Sex selling and exploitation, without an iota of doubt, occurs outside school, although we are yet to fathom how students are targeted. We presume, based on our projections, that CSU being further away from the border makes the traffickers want to lurk around, as they understand it's the last place anyone would look for traffickers, considering the distance to the outer country. As lucrative as the business may seem, and as fearless as those in the industry may be, there's been no traces of their operations on college grounds. However, it's come to my attention that a lot of ladies make their acquaintances as a side hustle outside college grounds. They feel the reward transcends the risks, but unknowingly to them, it is just a ploy to entice them until they let their guards down. Okay, so this person says, well, I understand it's very lucrative and these groups are very fearless in this industry. I haven't seen traces of it or operations of it on our college grounds. However, it has come to my attention that a lot of these ladies will make their acquaintances as a side hustle outside the college grounds. There's absolutely no clue as regards of the activities of the traffickers on college campuses, but I do know of them outside of the school. It's a fact that college girls often travel outside the states on escort duties. So they don't get sanctioned by the school for missing classes. They only do weekends and return to campus on Sundays with the pretense of having gone to visit their parents over the weekend. So, think back to like a lot of the sorority girls and the frat bros that they take off every weekend. They come back late on a Sunday. They only go away for the weekend. And as far as everybody thinks, they're just going home for the weekend to visit their parents. But, they're traveling over state lines to go do whatever they're doing to make their money. And this way, hopefully nobody sees them and they can't get sanctioned. Isn't that insane? Welcome in, everybody. I'm coming back over to chat now. Sarah D. Irish, Bootsy, hello. Nadia, what up, gangsta? James Moen. You're doing car shopping? Oh, good luck. I hope you find a beautiful, amazing, wonderful car. And let me know what you're going to name her after you get her. Okay, let me know what you're going to name your car, James Moen. Good luck on the car shopping, sir. Wish you all the best. I do like the name Lola, just so you know, sir. I love Lola, Lolita, Stella. Stella. I love that name for a car. Stella. Greta. Greta's always a good name for a car. Go ahead, everybody. Put the name of your car in the chat. What'd you name your cars? What's her name? It can't be a guy name, just so we're clear. If you know anything about cars, then you know why they're always named a female name. So, what's your, go ahead, let me know in the chat. What'd you name your vehicle? I've had a Stella, I've had a Lolita, I've had a Lola, so that's why I'm telling you, James Moen, you should have those names. Because those were the names of my cars. Jezebel. Ooh, Beach Babe. That's a good one. Jezebel. I like it. Christine. You named your car Christine. That's funny. Good one. Kelly. Rex. You named your car Kelly. Betty. It's always Betty. Yeah. And Black. Oh, Black Betty. Ram a lamb. Name is always Betty and the car is always black. Always bet on black, baby. I have to have like all black everything. My car right now is not all black, and I would like to make it all black, like with a wrap or something. I think I'm going to get her wrapped. I want to get her wrapped up. I want it to be like a black, like sparkly wrap on her. That's what I would like. Mercy Cat, the name of your car is Red. I fucking love it. Phoebe, that's a good name. Altruistic. Mine is the jalopy, Annie Ruler says. The jalopy. I like it. I like it. Okay. All right. So isn't that interesting? So what a lot of them will do is they will say, hey, you know what? I'm just going to visit my parents for the weekend. I'll be back. Like, or, yeah, we're just going so and so for the weekend. We're just going to go visit, like, Tacoma. We're going to go into Spokane for the weekend. We'll be back late Sunday night. No, we're just going to visit our parents right across state lines. We're only going like an hour away. And it's so they can go do whatever they're doing in hopes that nobody's going to see them so that they don't get kicked out of school or get sanctioned from their sorority or their frat or whatever. Absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. Daughter's name for her car is Ms. White. I like it. Mary P. POJ. My first car, piece of junk. Oh, so the name is POJ. That's hysterical. I like it. POJ. Okay, we don't have much more to look at here, friends. We could take a break, but these are all the different ways. On campus, off campus, online. They do it through deception. Right here, we have this is another way that they do it. They were deceived into doing it. So we'll get into that one next. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We're going on 2 hours. So we're going to do like another maybe 15 minutes, and then we're done. And maybe I'll come back on tonight. We'll see. I feel like I had one more thing that I wanted to share after this, though. So yeah, we got about 15, 20 more minutes, and then I'm going to wrap this up. But maybe I'll try and hop back on tonight. Because we still haven't finished looking through the rest of those crime scene photos, friends. We left off at like 2,600 or something. So we still have a few to look at. It's only 2,790. I think we left off at like 25. So I think maybe we'll do that tonight. We'll pick up where we left off. Sarah. Let me see here. You're going to read the WSU docs regarding the response to the venue transfer. I would love to, honey, but apparently you can only get them on Pacer or something, and I don't have Pacer, and I don't know, whoever has them hasn't, nobody sent them to me. I think Heather sent me, she told me there's a different way to do it. She probably sent me like the response, the reply, right? The response from WSU. But you got Discord, honey, right? You know my Discord. I know that I'm never in Discord, guys, even though I have one. I'm sorry. But I do try to check it like once a month. Okay, Sarah? So if you tell me, hey, check Discord, bitch, I'll go check it, okay? If you sent me something, all right? You know how much I appreciate you. I made the Discord and I'm never in there, man. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Check your page. Which one, honey? Just your YouTube page, you mean? Or your X? I know you post a lot of stuff on X, which is another one I'm also not on a lot. I suck with it. I'm pretty much just like YouTube. It's really all I do is YouTube. I don't really use, you can email me them from Pacer. Bootsy, oh, I appreciate you, honey. See, I know I could give you my email and like it would be fine, but I don't give my email to anyone. It's only a couple people. I don't have it like posted on my channel. But are you in the Discord? Bootsy? If you're in my Discord, go find my Discord if you're not already in it. I'll add you to it, and you can send stuff there if you want. And then the only thing you need to do is just be like, hey, bish, I sent you something. Leave a comment on a video or something and remind me to check my Discord, because I never do. You know? But if you tell me to, I will. I promise, friends. If you go find a video like Sarah, Bootsy, whoever, it doesn't matter who it is. If you're like, hey, bitch, go check your Discord. I sent you something. I sent you a doc. I'll do it. Okay? I won't be offended if you say, hey, bitch. Because that's just how we talk around here. Yeah, I'm wicked bad with social media too. Altruistic. Like, I use YouTube. That's about it. Yeah, it's about it. If StreamYard gives me problems or Restream gives me problems, I will bend the knee and you go to Rumble and live stream from Rumble. You know? So it all depends. Nadia, not bitch, but hey, gangsta. Yeah, that's what you could say too if you don't want to say hey, bitch. I don't mind it though. I'm just saying it's all how you say it, right? It's all how you say it. Is it bitch or bish? Two totally different words. They mean the same thing, Mary, honey. They're the same thing. It's the same thing. You could say which, right? Doesn't matter. It's all the same. Same difference. You know what I mean? James Moen, I hope you find a wonderful vehicle. Sir, good luck. Okay, let's get back into this. September Virgo. Went ahead and prepped for dinner and ate a snack. Your vehicle is called High on Silver and Away. Oh, Hi Ho Silver and Away. That's funny. I'll go with which. I'll go with which. There you go, Mary. That's fine. All right, so we only got a couple more things to look at. So here's another way that they do it is through deception. They will deceive you into being trafficked on the college campus. It says, a cousin of mine made an acquaintance some times ago when she was in college. She wasn't aware of the line of business of her new acquaintance. She felt she could be trusted, as they had been together for a couple months. She started going out together and went missing for a couple of weeks or so. She kind of reported to her parents that she would be attending an academic program in Mexico, but it wasn't true. She said it was private. She said it was a private, informal thing, so the school wasn't really involved, and that it was just a ladies' thing. Unknowingly, all those who traveled together with her felt they were going for an academic program as well, but she herself didn't know. She got there and got struck when she was found out the kind of thing her friend was into. She was forced to engage in all of the sexual shenanigans her friend had planned for just to preserve her life. She claimed they were literally in another world. She only returned a couple weeks later using the funds she gathered from her doings. She was deceived and to keep her life concurred. All this because she trusted a lady she never knew well. The lady friend never returned to the States, by the way. You believe that shit? So she thinks she's going on this little girl's trip to Mexico with this new friend of hers. And in fact, her new friend got her down there, forced her to have sex for money, and said, you better do it or I'll kill you, bitch. You're in Mexico. They won't find your body. Nobody's going to find you. Isn't that wild? Absolutely wild. She did it in order to keep her life, it says. Sex traffickers are usually well informed, in my opinion. The agents try to attend all college parties that they can, hoping they could prey on drunk girls and boys. Once you're drunk and tipsy, they approach you and try to shepherd you into going home with them. They try to have their way with you when you go with them to a hotel or sort, where they must have registered under an alias to make them untraceable. It's a low-key thingy amongst college students, most especially the girls. Some of them have Adams and Tim, who they work for, who send them to college and sort their bills. In return, they help these people's illegitimate businesses by providing other girls who may or may not understand what they do at first. According to the sources, some parents actually sign off on their children in search of greener pastures, leaving Imperial Valley with certain agencies who promise to provide and take care of their children overseas. Parents think these kids just do menial jobs with whomever that they leave with, but little do they know it's actually not. A girl was fortunate to flee back to El Centro to tattletale. A certain girl who lives with her madam heeds whatever her madam says. The madam pays her tuition fees and takes care of her other bills, but in return she grants sexual favors to one or two of her madam's clients. Albeit she is older than 18, which makes her an adult, the fact that her situation has been exploited makes everything so messed up. Madam could claim the sex is always consensual when those who know of the girl's story know she only does it out of responsibility as her madam's ward. It's that bad. It's a girl. I know all this because we used to date. And yes, it happens here in El Centro. And then we have trafficked to Mexico. These individuals partake in orgies and other wild things with one another during these visits. These kids' parents have got a holiday home across Rosarito, and they take this wildness as far as out of San Diego. So they take part in orgies in this kid's parents' holiday home in Rosarito. And they go far outside of San Diego as they can, as far as outside of San Diego as they can. There, we learnt that they engage in all sorts of sexual activities which can never be condoned anywhere in San Diego, each girl giving excuses to their parents for spending the nights out at their friends'. One of them almost got abducted once. My sister was a victim. She was trafficked a couple years ago, right before the pandemic struck, and she's been a miss ever since. We had a struggling father who couldn't provide all she needed, but we thought my sister worked at a store where she earned money. Little did we know she was an escort at night, selling sex to men in clubhouses. As a naive girl, she left house one day and never came back. It's assumed she was probably deceived into fleeing the country for Mexico just so she could make more. We know this because a girlfriend of hers confessed to being almost recruited as well. What's even more alarming is that these girls venture as far as Calexico and other neighborhoods in Mexico. Of course, I no longer think it's a secret that college girls go as far as Mexico to sell sex. Most times they get taken there by their buyers, who happen to frequent the other side of the wall very often, whether it's on a business trip or just to wind down. But how they convince these girls to go along with them is what baffles me. Hence, I have come to discover that there's an especially certain group of girls who do this all the time, who report directly to their own madam outside of the college grounds, and on whose directives they do whatever they are told. They learnt that they get paid before and after the trip with little guarantees of their safety. Oh, I learnt that they get paid before and after the trip with little guarantees to their safety. And then we have financial vulnerability here. I was down financially, really affected me big time. Tried a number of relatives and known people to source for funds, but it wasn't promising. Already, ladies get approached by guys and other men all the time, so I was used to being walked up to by these men. But this time it was different. The approach of this lady was much more direct, which meant she understood my situation really well and knew that I was in need of money. This meant one of my roommates or friends really shared this info with her, which ultimately means that's how it happens all over campus. They got people all around who watch out for distressed students whom can be preyed on. She promised it was just going to be a one-time thing, but that I'd get much more that I needed, maybe wanted, but I knew better. She didn't feel like a student, so arousing attention was going to be needless. Besides, she could deny that she actually said any of it. Any other person could have fell for it. So whoever this is giving this quote here, they didn't fall for it. But, whoever this person was that approached her, she knew it was one of her friends or her roommates that told this woman, hey, this girl over here needs money really bad. Go approach her. So that's what she did. Most traffickers know how tight campus security is, so they seldom try to recruit on campus. But it's a completely different case outside of campus. Organizing parties and inviting students over, they tease them with desirable amounts, and the desperate ones fall for it. Not everyone does all right, but those who do later become lady escorts. Some even push drugs for them on and off campus, quote, to make ends meet, they say. College student College students, the boys especially, struggle to make ends meet, unlike their female counterparts. They try to do any job they come across, and some get entangled in drug business. Depends on the group you work for, though, which kind of determines how you get treated. Some aren't as lucky and may be used for labor outside the US. The ones who remain work their asses off as distributors and drug mules. So remember when I said the other day, friends, sidebar, when I said in the other live, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, do not run with anything I say. But I said it the other day, the frats are for the drugs. The sororities are for the sex. I actually meant what I said. And for me, this is just, you know, it's just a little ding confirmation in my brain for me that my gut instinct was right because, this is insane. This is absolutely insane. So, because the boys especially struggle to make ends meet, they'll take any job that they can come across on campus, and even if that means pimping and selling drugs. Pimping sorority girls and selling drugs. That's what they'll do. Because it's much easier for the girls to make the money selling the sex, right? It's a hot commodity. The boys, not so much. I mean, still there, but fact of the matter is, it's usually the girls that are in very high demand, especially the ones that look like damn Playboy bunnies. Know what I'm saying? So, very interesting that the boys on campus who are like, man, I just need a fucking job, bro. They're like, fine, yeah, I'll sell drugs, sure. I'll go recruit some chicks for you, absolutely. Right? So there'll be a drug mule, a drug dealer, or a recruiter, a pimp. A friend of mine, a girl, works as an escort and does and introduces the trade to a few of her acquaintances. I understand that she sells hers to take care of school bills and fees, as she's only got her grandmother to depend on for funds. This is definitely not me justifying her actions. I'm just saying it's something I personally think she wouldn't be doing were there a better way to raise the amount needed by a college student. She does this and says she's not ashamed to admit it, as no one gives her money for free. Hence, she decided to commercialize it. Funny, huh? She feels it's unfair to criticize her if you aren't willing to help her. I know a couple of other girls who have ventured into this industry through her who are UCSD students as well. So this girl's friend is saying, hey, well, if you're not going to help me pay for what I need to pay for, well, then you don't get to criticize how I make my money either. Right? She commercialized on it. She profited from it. She's not ashamed of it. I mean, kudos to her, but like I said earlier, you got that demon on your back for the rest of your life. It's a little demon. It's just a little demon. And even when you think you got rid of it, you didn't. It's still just hanging out, chilling. It's laying in the cut. Just laying in the cut. In that dark part of your soul, bro. Just waiting. Just waiting. Once you have opened yourself up to these kinds of things, I'm telling you, it is what it is. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care if you call me crazy. Once you've allowed your spirit to be opened up to this dark ass, demonic ass shit, because that's what it is. It's dark ass, demonic ass, ritualistic shit. And the more you do it, once you've opened yourself to it, and then you continue and continue, and you just do the ritual over and over again. You keep doing the same thing over and over again, like a ritual. It's like a ritual. It's fucking wild, man. It's wild. Eventually they get to a point like this girl here, like this girlfriend, where they're like, well, f it, I'm just going to commercialize on this because I don't care. It makes like 6 figures a year and whatever. I'll be a madam. I'll be a madam and make 5 million a year, 3 million a year. That's literally where we're at. That's where we're at. They leave college and say, well, fuck it. I'll just be a madam. Why not? It's going to make me bank. Absolutely wild. In all consciousness, I think kids from foster homes are being targeted mostly due to the weak attachment they have with foster parents, right? They have almost no attachments, so it's a lot easier to manipulate them and make them feel like they're loved and cared for because maybe they've never felt that. In all consciousness, I think kids from foster homes are being targeted mostly due to the weak attachment they have with foster parents. They are easier targets and would make for weaker prey, easily swayed and enticed, as most of them probably never got to enjoy luxury much. The boys are easily enticed into the drug trade, and ladies into prostitution and sex. They emancipate at 18, so most don't get easily missed, it's assumed. Competition amongst girls for luxurious stuff is quite unhealthy, and most would do anything to stay or get ahead of others, hence the need to sell sex. Most parents can't afford to buy these expensive things for them, so they take it upon themselves to fend for and sort themselves. Most venture into the business knowing exactly what it is they are doing, while some just get caught in the middle as they gallivant around in their promiscuity. Wild. Then we have rape, assault, sexually transmitted infections, and disappearances. Okay? A few get carried away at parties and get raped just around a corner, and cases like that. Walking at USD, I saw someone grab another girl's butt and she started screaming. I heard about a friend of mine who goes to university. Her roommate was raped by someone she didn't know when walking home one day. Being a victim of deceit, I can testify to this. As an undergraduate, I had serious issues making ends meet and was open to all forms of hustle. It was then I discovered that a few of the girls actually knew where the clubs were, even the ones outskirt of the city, and they were usually in attendance to hook up with men and make money. I partook once and got raped on my first outing. So this person here, giving this testimony in quote, is saying, yeah, I did it once and frickin' got raped the first time I went there. But then again, I mean, I'm not, you know what? Keep it to yourself, Annie. I heard of a certain incident in one of these colleges around. Some girls were arrested for being an accomplice when a college girl went missing. Said they attended parties together. All right, but that the victim started going out without her, and the one she went to the one night she went missing was actually one of the few. She heard there are girls who recruit willing girls into the paramour doings. Okay. Hold, please. Hello, everyone. Sorry, I had to mute for a minute. I'm in a different part of the home because I obviously didn't want the kid to hear anything that I'm doing on this live today. And I heard her coming down the hall up there. So I muted for a minute. I'm back now. Sorry, friends. I literally came to like a different part of the house because I'm like, I don't even want my kid hearing any of this absolutely demonic, diabolical bullshit. Stay away, Satan. All right. Okay. Let's get back into this. We're almost done here. It says, okay, so where did we leave off? I heard that there are girls who recruit willing girls into the paramour doings. Okay. The girls who recruit actually get paid in advance against future events and prepare themselves to entertain certain sets of men. These girls don't use their college's health facilities when they contract sexually transmitted infections and visit certain medical centers around their colleges to avoid suspicion. I know this because I'm an intern in one of the medical centers around and see and hear a lot of this stuff. These girls are coming in with guys who pose as their boyfriends to protect their cover in case the medical personnel get uncomfortable with their stories and want to involve the authorities. It says sometimes people are prevented from leaving an unfair or unsafe work situation by their employers. Then we have sexual exploitation here. Have you ever felt pressured to engage in a sexual activity as a college student? Almost 40% said yes of these respondents. Have you ever felt pressured to engage in a sexual activity by others on campus? Almost 25% said yes. And then we have here, who on campus pressured you or someone else that you know? 12% is an instructor. This should be fucking 0%. Instructors shouldn't even be on the list. Okay. 37% was another student, and then 23% was their boyfriend or their girlfriend. So it's actually closely knit. It's very rare, actually, 5%. Very rare that it's a complete stranger approaching you to do it. 37%, it's actually more likely that you're going to be coerced into it or talked into it or hinted to it, about it by a fucking student or your boyfriend or girlfriend. I'm telling you, insane. And then it goes into a few more questions on the survey here. Okay, friends. What do we got here? Asked, have you known anyone who has been involved in selling sex or sexual exploitation, sex trafficking? The survey respondents said yes, 30%. 35% said the person was a college student when they were involved in selling sex or sexual exploitation and trafficking. So 30% said, yep, I have known or currently know someone doing it. 35% said that person is or was a college student when they were doing it. When asked about involvement in any sexual exchanges, selling sex, or sexual exploitation experiences as a college student from personal experience or of an acquaintance, the chosen perspective held throughout the rest of the survey was 67% self, 17% a friend or acquaintance, 5% a family member. Asked about involvement in sexual exchanges, selling sex, or sexual exploitation experiences as a college student from personal experience, it was themselves. So 70% are saying, it was me. I'm the one who experienced it or did it or whatever. Jeez. Have you ever engaged? Have you ever exchanged sexual activities for something of monetary or other value? 21% said yes as a college student. And then 55% said never considered. No, I've never considered doing that. Good for you, 55%. Good for you. How likely are you to exchange sexual activities for anything of monetary or other value? 3% said very likely. 11% said likely. 22% said unlikely, and 60% said very unlikely. So that's good. 20% said they ever received anything in exchange. For example, so did you ever do anything in exchange for sex, right? Example, having a place to stay, gifts, or food. 20% said yes. 16% said as a college student, they or someone they knew as a college student had crossed the U.S. Mexico border to provide sex act for some monetary gain or value. 16% of 1,000 respondents, 9% said they had ever been tricked or forced into doing any kind of work that they did not want to do, specifically selling sex. 9% said they were tricked. So, anyways, I did link this document in the description of this video. Let me stop sharing that. Anybody who wants to go read through the whole thing, please feel free. Go right ahead. You know, that would be absolutely wonderful if you choose to do that. Would very much appreciate it. Okay. I don't want to be the only one talking about it. I feel like it's definitely something we need to talk about. It needs to be discussed. Seems to be I would like to see a study like this done across multiple campuses, especially the ones that have the higher level ranking sororities and fraternities on them that are prevalent, that like own the campus, right? I would like to see this study, this investigation that this PhD professor did. I want it conducted like on all campuses. This should be something they have to do like on a bi-yearly basis or something, in my opinion. Maybe we'll draft some legislation for that shit or something. I'm not even playing either. Maybe I'll get in touch with my state college here, one of my big state colleges that has some big frats and sororities on it. See if they'd be interested in participating in an anonymous study, just like the one this PhD professor did. Maybe we can create an anonymous online study. I'll get in touch with one of my big state colleges here that's got high recruitment for sororities and fraternities, and we'll go Mrs. Smith on this shit. Why not? I'd be down for that. I think that would be some funsies. Just to learn, because I'd like to see this done on every campus in the country. What do you mean, suck it, Detective Mowry? You suck it, motherfucker. You sandbagging son of a bitch. Suck it, Potts. You suck it. James Moen, did you get that car yet? Make sure you tell me what you're going to name it once you get it. What up, Detective Mowry? Welcome on in. You sandbagging son of a bitch. All right, so yeah. I mean, guys, we've been here for like over 3 hours, I think. 2.5, some shit like that. 2:16. I wanted to keep it at 2, so we're a little bit over, but I think maybe that's what we'll do. I'm going to take this study that this professor did. I'm going to tweak it. I'm going to put it in my own words, maybe add in some of my own questions, etc., etc., etc. And I'm going to see if I can get a couple of the colleges in my state, get some people to respond and share their experiences and talk about what they saw and or witnessed anonymously, right? I think that is a fantastic idea. And I'm going to pat myself on the back for that one because I think that's a brilliant, brilliant idea, Annie. You fucking genius. Brilliant. That's what we're going to do. We're going to take this PhD professor's, I'm going to use her little findings here as a template. I'm going to use her survey as a template for mine. Thank you to the wonderful professor who did this. Let me go find her name, actually, because I want to give the biggest shout outs to whoever this person is. I already talked about it in the live yesterday because we looked at another portion of this document yesterday in a different live. This is the Nemeth Program in Human Trafficking Research Among College Students. It was submitted by Leanne A. Yorada, PhD, Principal Investigator and Associate Professor, San Diego State University. Final report came out August 31st, 2023. Well, Leanne Urata, PhD, mega props to you, darling. And I hope that you don't mind if this ever makes it somewhere to your doorstep. I'm going to use your little survey here as a template, because I would like to do this study as well in my own state, and then maybe apply it to some states around me as well. I may contact some colleges in some surrounding states as well and see if anyone there would be willing to respond. So thank you, Dr. Yorada. Very much appreciate you. This is a wonderful document. This is a wonderful study. I think it's very eye-opening, and I think that it should be talked about more, and it should be done on campuses nationwide, in my humble opinion. Okay, so you guys go enjoy the rest of your Saturday. All right, I'm out of here. I am got some couple things to do. I need to take care of my back and try to get it to feel better. So I'm going to go slap a patch on it. And yeah, I'm going to cook some dinner and do my thing, okay? And maybe I'll see you guys tonight. Maybe we'll go look at the rest of those crime scene photos tonight. But have a great night, everyone. Appreciate you being here. I really do. Mercy Cat. Mercy Cat, you gifted 10 memberships? Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, honey. 10 of you got gifted a membership from Mercy Cat, and I hope, I didn't see my chat. It was probably while I was reading and I couldn't see my chat, so I hope that all of you that were gifted a membership, you say thank you to Mercy Cat. If you catch it on the replay and Mercy Cat gifted you, please make sure you say thank you. And thank you so much, Mercy Cat. You know how much I love you. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Saturday. And please give King Elroy a big, big hug from me, okay? And give him an extra treat just from me, okay? One extra treat today from me. You guys take care. Hope you have a great day, and I might see you later. Bye. Mods, thank you for being here, everyone. Seriously, new subscribers, new members, everybody, the channel's growing. We're almost at 4,000 subs, which I know doesn't seem like a lot, but it's a lot to me. So, hey, hate it or love it, thumbs it up, thumbs it down. Thank you, everybody. Mods, seriously, you guys are the real fucking MVPs. Don't ever forget it. And I hope you guys know how much I really do appreciate all of you. I really do. Take care. Enjoy your Saturday. Bye. Sorry, I had to come back for a minute. Lori, totally fine if you have no respect for the Gonsalveses or whatever, but I should let you know, darling, this entire live had almost nothing to do with Brian Koberger or his case. Okay? So if you're still here, honey, Lori, there you are. You're totally entitled to your own opinion. I'm not hating on you. It's fine. You can have whatever opinion you want of the victims and their parents and whatever. I'm not here to tell you what to think. But if you're just getting here to this live, honey, this live wasn't about Koberger. So, or even the victims in the Idaho 4 case. That's why I didn't title the live anything to do with Idaho 4. Because it's not really anything to do with Idaho 4. It's actually about just human trafficking across college campuses, how it can happen, and, a study that was published on it and some other articles and things like that. But I do appreciate you being here, Lori. I just see that, everybody was asking you to kind of be respectful in chat. And, it's fine. You're entitled to your opinion. But, this live wasn't about Koberger or Kaylee or anybody or the victims or how they got killed or whatever. So, but I hope you enjoy your Saturday. Amy Conway, thank you for being here. September Virgo, Nadia, everyone, Beach Babe, Bootsy, Lucy. Okay. Love you guys. Hope you have a great day. I really do. Take care, everyone. Be kind.